So a fleet, for example, what we do is a constellation of small satellites for remote operations. Okay, so we help industries to connect sensors and remote operate their assets, asset tracking, and so it's pretty cool technology. But why we like it, because it's got all these remote operations, and remote operations are really important for Earth. You know, when you actually move from manual to remote, means that you save better food. 50% is wasted of food in the supply chain, because we just do the supply chain, putting things on a truck or on a. So all this automated way of controlling stuff really is Earth-saving thing. But at the end of the day, it's going to be really cool on Moon and Mars. So we're going to get there.
So with fleet, I want to have a talk about it.
Let's talk about it.
You showed me, and I'd love it if we could get the footage that you showed. It's like an intro clip for fleet.
Yep.
I saw it at South Star, and you've actually had a newer one since then, which I saw somewhere, but I've seen it. But I would like to play it because it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So what it is, basically, you can obviously tell people, but you obviously are piggyback like a satellite's pretty big piece of machinery.
Yeah, but this one is smaller.
So this a normal satellite, what, the size of this room?
Yeah, this room is probably the size of a small bus.
Yeah, a small bus. Yep. So that's what's up in the atmosphere, the outer stratosphere.
Yeah, very, very high. But these new satellites are pretty small. So
Yep.
think of really
Like
about
a shoebox.
Really
Like
a
this
shoebox
big.
of technologies.
Yep.
They go 500 kilometers from Earth. I still launch with a rocket. So we still launch with Elon Musk and other rockets. But the idea is that, so it's an interesting concept. So they create internet for what is called Internet of Things. So Internet of Things is an interesting concept. Is the idea that they call it the next industrial revolution. So the third industrial revolution was Internet for people. So you got your computer and you got your iPhone,
Yep.
and life is great.
Yeah.
Okay. So before that, there was nothing like this. Now we work in industry and that's normal, but we forget that 30, 40 years ago, there was nothing like it. So the next industrial revolution, the fourth one, is about bringing things on the internet. So at the moment, how many things you got in your supermarket? Many.
Yeah,
Many, okay.
Thousands of touch points.
And for the moment, every single thing that is online is just your stuff. But in the coming 15 years, every single asset, from the car or the truck to the salad to the, and this is for every industry, will have a GPS location, a timestamp, and it's going to go on internet. So the efficiency of everything you guys operate, and not just you guys, electricity plants and, everything.
So to have everything connected, which is the IoT.
Yeah. Large scale. Why do you need satellites and everything? You know?
So is that to make things more efficient?
Yeah.
Or is it to really learn, like, if someone knows where I got a Tesla, love that.
Good.
But if someone knows, like, that's tracked anyway, so that's probably a bad example. But, what's the benefit of knowing? Do you want to talk us through? Let's talk through.
What's the benefit of knowing everything?
So let me talk through a live example of mangoes. Like, you might know some live examples for mangoes, they're picked on a farm. So do you want to talk us through how...
So there is a lot of cases, because IoT is all about cases. But the mango is a funny one, because everyone loves mangoes. Okay?
Yeah, everyone.
So something that I've learned when I started this journey is that in the supply chain, something that I really didn't know, so in the big supply chain, so, cold supply chain on oceans, we waste more than 50% of the food in the big containers. And I'm like, this is a big number. Like, there are 7 billion people that are gonna come live with us in this world, and we waste 50%. So we waste water at the very beginning. Then we waste 50% of the food. I think like all the food that reach the person eating, 40% of that is wasted. We waste so much. And we've just been doing this for years. Mango is something really I loved, because I love mango.
Yeah,
Everyone
I love
loves
mangoes.
mango. And it turns out that the mango, to get to a place where it can be sold, has to be in a particular conditions. And that is your word. And that is something like constantly in the supply chain at 18 degrees in the core.
Yep.
like a random number, like God knows what. Okay,
it's very specific though.
Yeah, it's very specific. Otherwise, it gets a little bit rotten, and it gets to the supermarket. You can't really sell it anymore, and it's a window of time. So there are a lot of companies around it. The supply chain is complicated because it comes from the farm, out of internet, on the oceans. A lot of companies build these little chips that actually are biodegradable, so that goes inside the mango truck all their life. So if there is a door that open and close during transport that gets the temperature higher, straight away you can act. Okay, this is one tiny example of a million example of IoT of things they can do, but it's fascinating. You are saying that potentially every piece of fruit will have its own ID.
Stop it.
So you go from every truck have its own ID to every pallet have its own ID to every piece of leather box have its own ID to every piece of fruit or every piece of thing. So it's a big change. It's going to happen 20, 30 years.
So I guess that's one reason. That's probably a reason how we started to talk, because obviously we transport a fair bit of things. We 3PL everything, comes from a warehouse, goes from the grower, goes straight out to the stores because we do some paddock to plate. So there's a lot of synergies there. When you talk about a biodegradable chip that is actually being read by one of your nano shoebox size satellites.
The satellites, it's great.
It sounds far-fetched.
The reality is that most of these things, when you actually think about connectivity, every time the connectivity made a step further in society, it allowed a revolution in the industry. So at the moment, I think 98% of the world is unconnected. So in the 30,
how much?
98. So 3G, 4G, 5G is in 3% of the world. So where there are the cities. It's crazy. So when you think about IoT or your Tesla driving itself, and you name it, okay, so how do you do when it's not 3G? You edge computing. There is so many technology needs to come online. So everything will be connected. Hello.
Yeah,
so someone had to create some internet for it.
So then someone needs to be in that platform. And you said you sent up a couple of mother loads, which I'm assuming are satellites.
Yeah, for last year and now for next year. We want to launch 100.
Yep. So are they for nanos going up?
Yeah.
Or so you've obviously said to someone, hey, can we borrow your rocket?
Yeah, Elon Musk.
Elon Musk. Can we send some stuff up?
Couple of stuff up, and we do it every year. And we are gonna get to a point that we must produce the satellites, and the satellites you can launch them, every month, depending of what capacity people need.